Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about the consistency objection to role utilitarianism. First, do any of you know the meaning of utilitarianism? If there isn't, first let me expose you that there are much question about role utilitarianism. Other ideal Christian thinks that it must be either become deontological system or it transform itself into act utilitarianism. So what is role utilitarianism? Role utilitarianism is an inconsistent theory that offers a truly independent standard for making judgment. There are arguments about following the set of general rules of utilitarianism system rules. It goes into 100 headings. Lately, we talk about the two ideals question about the role utilitarianism, either deontological system or act utilitarianism. Now, what is the meaning of this? Deontological system, the theory or study of moral obligation to act utilitarianism, it is his her duties do not dub suppress the new evidence in favor of protecting the public from a criminal. For more clarification, I will give you an example and one situation that will help understand the meaning of role utilitarianism.
There is a man named Charlie, has been convicted of a serious crime and sentenced to a severe punishment. Me, the presiding judge, I will be acting here as the presiding judge. Okay? So, I just have got obtained a fresh evidence that would help Charlie exonerate of the crime. But suddenly, I also have evidence here that are not admissible in court that Charlie is guilty of an equally heinous crime. So the evidence suggests that Charlie is a dangerous man who should not be on the streets of our city. Now, what would be the act utilitarians do? So it is act utilitarians duties to not doubt suppress the new evidence in favor of protecting the public from a criminal. So what is the new evidence here in this situation? It is in which the presiding judge also have an evidence that are not admissible in court that Charlie is guilty of an equally heinous crime. So that was the new evidence in which the act utilitarian should be considered. So it is a rules utilitarian in which he or his or her having a tougher time making the decisions. On the other hand, the rule utilitarian has the rule like do not permit innocent people to suffer for crimes they didn't commit. On the other hand, he has the rule to protect the public from unnecessary harm.
Utilitarianism role. Do not permit innocent people to suffer for crimes they did commit. Protect the public from unnecessary harm. The role utilitarian may decide the matter by using the remainder principle which yield the same result as that of the act utilitarian. This seems, however, to give us a counterintuitive result. Why not? Why not just be a utilitarian and forgo the middle steps if what we are destined to reach anyway? There may be other ways for the role utilitarian to approach this. He or she may opt for a different remainder to principle, one that appeals to all different institutions. Whenever two roles conflict, choose the ones that fits for defense. Moral retentions, thus the judge may very well decide to reveal the evidence, exonerating Charlie, holding to the role, not allow people to suffer for crimes for which there is insufficient evidence to convict them. The roles utilitarian argues that in the long run a role that protects such legally innocent but morally culpable people will produce more utility than following an act utilitarian principle. If we accept the second institution version of the remainder principle, we may be accused of being deontological institutions that not utilitarian at all. How might we respond to these crimes of inconsistency? It may be more striving for the goal of utility and the method of consulting or institution, or fact the moral deliberate question and action this event if role utilitarian involves fact of moral deliberate question of action this event if role utilitarianism involves consulting moral institution. Both are these elements may be intertwined and equally legitimate parts of moral reasoning. What is first offers to be a problem of a consistency is really just an indicator of the multiplied nature of morality. The next topic will be the integrity objection. Aman Bernard Williams tends to argue about utilitarianism violation regarding personality integrity. A man named Jim R. accidentally in central square of South America's town. Nga isa ka tawo diri nga na si Jim nga accidental ko sa pagmata sa square of South America town. Na aksidente na pagmata. Tapos nakita niya dito nga 20 of Indians nga nagprotesta sa ilang gobyerno. Tas niduol ang ilang kapitan nga, "Sir, nganong naabot man kadariya?" Tas niana siya, "Sir, wala man ko'y labot sa inyong protesta." Unya niana ang kapitan sa protesta sa gobyerno, kung wala kay labot pagpatay daw isa ka Indian. Tas niana ang hunahuna ni Jim, kung mapatay siya og isa ka Indian, mapatay pud siya. Kay niana ang kapitan, kung mapatay kag isa ka Indian nga wala kay labot sa protesta, na kay madawat sa ko. Kung dili ka mopatay, wala pa kay madawat sa ako. So ang hunahuna ni Jim og sa Indian nagka-unique lang kay ang hunahuna sa Indian kung mapatay niya si Jim, patyon po niya si Jim, di ba? This example is given by Bernard Williams only and also gives a conclusion explanation. By the example of William, he asks historically, how can a man as utilitarian agent come to regard as one certification among others indispensable, one a project or attitude for which he has built his life because someone else's project have I structured the casual sense that is how the utilitarian sums come out. In response to this criticism, the utilitarian can argue that integrity is not an absolute that must be adhered to all costs. Some elimination may be necessary for the moral life, and the utilitarian can take this into account in devising strategy of action even when it is required that we sacrifice our lives or limit our freedom for others. We may have to limit or sacrifice something of what William calls strategy. We may have to do the lesser of evil. In many cases, if the utilitarian doctrine of negative responsibility incorrect, we need to realize that we are responsible for the evil that we knowing allow us we as for the evil we commit. The end. Next topic is criticism of the aids justifying immoral means. Chief among the criticism of utilitarianism is that utilitarian ends might justify immoral means. There are many dastardly things that we can do in the name of maximizing general happiness, decide torture, slavery, even killing of ethics. Minorities, as long as the hunger populace benefits, this action might be justifying. The general problem can be laid out in this argument. First, if a moral theory justifies action that we universally deem impermissible, then that moral theory must be rejected. Second, universalism justifies action that we universally deem impermissible. 3. Therefore, utilitarianism must be rejected. Let's look at several versions of this argument. Thank you and God bless.